Oh, what a name! What a lovely name!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon, and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live, and there's also a PayPal, Patreon, crypto, and thanks button in the info box below the video. Speaking of Patreons, I can do a quick shout out to all of you who do support me on Patreon. So, a massive shout out of thanks and appreciation to Moon Harvest, Amish Earther, Naughty Thumbnails, Mitch Kennedy, Original D-Rose, Rod, The Name's Burley, Todd Wuzzle, Jason Hornsby, Christoph Fournier, Flat Earth Travolta, J Mels 24, Unimento, M, Iron26, Endless, Flat Earth Sage, Golden McKinnon, Retro Bill, More Books, Cannabear, Fibre Oats, Bogey, Michael Kahn, John Kays, Patrick Gunnels, Banter, Mel B Styles, Hairy Blade, Mobile Max 777, Rob W, Del West Watson, Maria Nealands, Unbelievable Productions, Blue Ridge Ranger, Abraham Mohammed, Skeptic 936, Life is Short, Texas Mike, David Wayne Foster, and Dank. So another massive thank you to all of you for supporting me on Patreon. Now, I have got a full panel full of Discord dudes and G+ ladies and gentlemen, and they don't know I've done an intro, so they don't know I'm going to go live, but I've got a very bare-bones show to be going on with, so I'm glad they're all warmed up and chatting, because they're going to keep you entertained while I fiddle around with things, and hopefully keep this live show maintained so we can do more going into the future and reach 2,000 shows. I'm going to open the lines on Discord and G+, so you can enjoy their dulcet tones, and indeed, this Welcome Back live show.
Angle measuring device, and an angle is two straight lines meeting at a common point called a vertex. So how can that ever
Hey,
work on a
Nathan.
globe?
Yes?
You're muted in Discord. We can't hear you there.
I've got it under
You just gotta
control. Don't you worry about
Okay.
me.
Oh, okay. I was just
Wow.
checking.
There's a voice from the past. Haven't heard that voice for a week.
Yes. That does not mean I am deceased. It does not mean I've quit YouTube.
Good to have you
I've
back.
been going around all the big baller channels and saying that they finally broke Nathan down, and he sits in his room and cries now. He's scared of them.
Yes, that is also true. We do a bit of housekeeping to warm us all up. Who's up for it?
Oh yeah.
Any evidence of a physical?
Is the show started?
Yes, I have now gone live.
Okay, well, because there was something I wanted to share, but I can share it after the house.
Share it anyway. I'm doing things, so I'm glad if you can share something. Yes, Brian, go ahead.
Well, I'd need you to share it on the screen.
Oh, no, I can't do any of that. Oh, you've gone from being useful to being a pain in the arse immediately.
It's just a conversation point. There's a picture I put into the Master B. I get it there, and I just posted it again.
No, setting up Skype for sharing and stuff I haven't got quite around to yet, so I'm hoping you guys can keep the actual conversation going. And if you need to reference something, just pretend it's on screen, Brian. Yeah, I've shared it.
Love it.
Okay, look, I put it for everyone that wants to see it. It's a Master B. If Righteous is around, if you were available, you could post it in Discord. It's just showing a tangent to a sphere, right? Now, when they do celestial navigation, and they're trying to claim that they're using a tangent to a sphere. Now, but regardless of whether it's celestial navigation or whether it's surveying or anything, they're always claiming a tangent, and they're claiming that tangent is a horizontal. So if that tangent is a horizontal, then horizontal has no defined size, so it can be any length, right? But that means, what they need to claim is that only at the point where that horizontal claimed by them horizontal tangent is touching their sphere, will there be a correct vertical that will go to the center of that sphere? But that's a complete paradox, because all lines that make right angles with a horizontal will be perpendicular, they'll be verticals. So their claim of there only being one line that's perpendicular to the horizontal tangent they're claiming is a load of rubbish. You can't. I had this out some while ago. I made a video responding to something Charles Globert Matt said to Bev. And it's like, I was just pointing out in the video that, like, a tangent plane, if you're claiming that tangent is a horizontal, then it's not limited to one vertical. You know what I mean? They're trying to limit it to one vertical at only the point where the tangent touches the sphere. Will that be perpendicular? I can draw any other amounts of verticals to that to that horizontal, and they'll still be perpendicular. You understand what I mean?
Yeah, you're basically showing that they can't have diverging zeniths.
Well, yeah, they can't. This is the thing about it. Like, how can a tangent plane that's claimed to be a horizontal only have one line that's perpendicular to it? That's the load of rubbish. A horizontal, if it's a horizontal at 5 miles long, right? Let's say a horizontal plane 5 miles long. At every mile you can place a vertical, and each one of those verticals will be perpendicular. But they need to claim that only one line will be perpendicular, and that's the point at where that tangent touches the sphere. Now, they can't have a horizontal on a sphere, and they can't have verticals on a sphere. It's all rubbish. They can have right angles being made with the tangent planes, but they have to then specify which one of those tangent planes is the horizontal. Because the rest of them can't be horizontal, with the exception of the one that's parallel to it, at the other side of the sphere. Do you know what I mean? They can't have that. It doesn't work. But if they're going to claim that they have a horizontal tangent plane, then how did they justify one vertical being perpendicular to it? How come it can't have infinite verticals being perpendicular to it? That's mathematically paradoxical. It can't. It makes no sense. What they're claiming makes no sense mathematically.
Well, how can they have a tangent?
Well, this is the point I'm making. When you're saying what you said, say that again, can you please?
Where'd they get the tangent?
Yes, where they get, but this is the point. If they're claiming a tangent, they then have to claim you can only have one vertical that's perpendicular to it. That's a complete load of nonsense. That's not reality.
No. Where'd they get the tangent?
I know that point. But what I'm saying is addressing it.
Further. The tangent's the monkey in the room.
There's another monkey in the room. Yeah, I understand that. They need the sphere, but they're claiming a tangent, right? And they're claiming it's a horizontal, right?
Where do you get the tangent?
Yes, yeah, I understand that.
I can claim a whole bunch of stuff too.
Yeah, but you're walking all over the point I'm trying to make. Look, forget about it.
Now, the point is, you're begging the question for them. Where'd they get the tangent?
No, I'm pointing out a paradox. I'm pointing out a paradox within their claim.
No, their claim is rubbish.
I know it's rubbish, and that's what the paradox is pointing out.
No, the claim is rubbish before you get to the perpendicular off the tangent. The tangent's the issue. Where'd they get the tangent?
Yeah, I know. Where did they get any of it? I understand that. But I'm talking about their specific claim that they have a horizontal tangent, because they need a tangent to mathematically make it work.
I need things too, but I just can't conjure them.
Yeah, I understand that, but I'm working off of their mathematical claim.
That's the problem.
No, you're not. Their mathematics has A to B, and that diagram you showed is surface level. They use level as a horizontal plane in their mathematics as well.
But the C, A, and B in that diagram, John, right? They will claim that A and B, you can't have a vertical to that. They are claiming that you can only have a vertical to C. You understand? Right,
but in the mathematics, A to B is surface level. It's labeled as such within Earth curve mathematics. Everything. It's clearly labeled as a horizontal plane within the mathematics.
But not when they're dealing with a tangent. They're trying to claim that the tangent is only touching the sphere at one point. So you can only have a vertical to that one point, which is complete rubbish. A horizontal can have any amount of verticals to it.
Aren't you getting that?
I think someone's off on a tangent.
I got it years ago. This is a new point I'm trying to point out, a new thing I'm trying to point out, and it's just not going down.
I got where you're going, but it's already dead before you get to the point off the deadness.
They're ignoring that
I don't give a
and claiming
shit.
tangents. Anyway, that's the point. I'm trying to take them apart with the I'm trying to point out something with their claim concerning tangents, or any claim concerning tangents. Tangents in
Can
general.
somebody else translate this for me? Does anyone else know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, you're basically saying they can't even have it in the first place, and Brian is trying to explain after they have it. So you're killing it right away. Brian's killing it afterwards.
Yes.
No, exactly. No, I'm pointing out that their tangent. No, that's not what I'm doing. I'm pointing out that the claim of a tangent is impossible because
Right.
you can't have only one vertical to a horizontal. That's the point.
No, the tangent's the problem, not the point
No,
that the
it's
vertical is
impossible.
from
Is
it.
my point. My point is the tangent is impossible. That's the point I'm trying to make. I'm
Oh
trying
my
to show
goodness
how.
gracious.
You're saying where do they get the tangent? That's what I'm pointing out is the problem.
No, what QE is saying, is they're conjuring it up. There's nowhere to get it.
Yeah, but if I put two verticals to their tangent, they have to
No.
claim one of them is not a vertical. Do you understand the point? It's ridiculous. That's my point.
So if you put two verticals to a tangent that can exist, you can prove
they must
that
deny one of them.
you
Yeah,
see
they
where
must deny.
Brian,
Go on.
that was QE's point, what I just said.
Yeah, but my point is that their tangent is impossible mathematically because they have to deny every, with the exception of one vertical, they have to deny the existence of all other verticals to the same horizontal. You can't have two verticals to the same horizontal tangent. That's what. So they have to deny one of them.
They can't have a tangent.
Brian is
Forget it. I'm going around the circle.
No, listen, Brian, you're killing it after you give them a tangent.
No, I'm not giving them the tangent. I'm not giving them the tangent.
Fine. I misspoke. After they claim a tangent, you use two verticals to destroy it. What QE and John are saying is that you don't even have to give it to them because it's conjured.
Yeah, but I can't stop them claiming a tangent. They can claim it if they like.
Well,
but the point is that mathematically...
I know. Hang on.
I'm trying to explain it. Mathematically, it doesn't work. You can't have a tangent, right, that's claimed to be... If they're claiming a horizontal, you can't claim a horizontal tangent, but then only have one vertical being allowed, being perpendicular to it. It mathematically doesn't work.
Hang on, John. If someone I'm talking to later today claims to be George Washington, I can mathematically prove he's not, or I could stop talking to him because he's just conjured it up.
Well, the thing is, right, I can claim anything. It doesn't have to be true, right? But the way a claim structure would work is you make the positive claim. Okay, unicorns exist. Does it make sense to try to debunk unicorn digestion? Or should I be showing you unicorn first?
I'm pointing out that the claim of a tangent is impossible. That's what I'm trying to point out, mathematically. In reality, it's impossible. That's my point. Not that I'm giving them a tangent. It's that I'm pointing out that their tangent claim is impossible mathematically.
Well, that's good.
How's
Can
it
you
going,
argue about it a bit more?
Huh? Now,
No.
I think we made the point.
Okay.
How are you?
I'm all right. Just I've got very little control over OBS as I've set it up from scratch, so I'm kind of doing that on the fly. But I wanted to have a live stream because the only way to test the computer is to have a live stream, so that's what I'm doing. But yeah, I'm just distracted with setting things up. So this show's going to be rubbish from my perspective, unless you guys keep it going, which I really hope
It was
you
just
do.
getting exciting.
Yeah, we was taking a break for everybody to really like get their mind right. You know, we didn't want to get out of hand. But that's usually when you would have stepped in, so we had to back off a minute.
Well, you know, the reason we go this way is because there's so many contradictions in the globe claims that you could kill it before they even get to the claim, you could kill it during the claim, and you could kill it after the claim.
Well,
There are no globe claims. Globe can't claim anything.
There we go. See, you prove my point.
What you got is a bunch of retards. No swearing. What you got? You got a bunch of low people making shit up. Sorry, no swearing.
Well, yeah, that's why it's a crap argument. Look, how many times have you talked to a normie who just parrots things? And then, you know, we're heliocentric subject matter experts here. We start throwing their own claims at them and they deny their own claims. And you're laughing so hard because they just debunked themselves.
So how many times? I don't think you'd believe that number if I told you.
Oh, I would believe it because you've done it more than me. And I've done it enough to know that it's a lot.
well, their entire worldview is a contradiction. It's like they just call it a paradox and then keep skipping along. You know, like, well, that's just a paradox. I'll figure it out later. Do still sphere.
The impossible eclipse.
Well, yeah, it's a contradiction, but I still hold on to it.
Yeah, I looked up paradoxes and kind of started reading up on them a little bit, and they say it's a contradiction that holds true in reality.
Oh, that's a good one.
You almost got that out without laughing.
Almost. I can't believe that I used to read this stuff years ago, and it sounded silly then, but now it's even worse. You know.
Delivery.
Hold on, I'll be right back.
They're coming to get you.
Well, it's like when you start the conversation about Earth spinning, and then you tell them, well, where do I experience this? And they say, well, look at the sun. It's moving. So we're spinning. That's why the sun is moving. I go, well, could it be that the sun is moving and we're not moving? Could we be stationary and the sun could be moving?
Right.
Oh, no, that's not our model.
Did you want that diagram up, Brian? I managed to get it up if you actually wanted it. With A, B,
No, we're
C,
done.
Earth.
No, well, put it up, but we're done with that.
Well, what do you want?
Again,
Better late
are
than
we?
never. What do you want?
We're not going to start that again, are we? I was in the middle of something.
Well, all I say is, according to our opposition, you can't have any more than one vertical to that horizontal
According to
plane.
our opposition.
According to our opposition, I want to discuss unicorn digestive systems.
No, I'm not. I'm taking away the unicorn. That's not. I'm taking. Nathan,
I'm
do you
not
understand
saying
what
you are. I'm not
Nathan, do
saying
you?
you.
1 second, Nathan. Do you understand my point with that tangent plane argument they make?
Absolutely
Well,
not.
you
I
like-
completely agree with your opponents. You're giving them a line
I'm
that
not.
they don't have.
I'm not giving them. I'm taking away the tangent. Their claim, showing that the claim is what did I say then?
I don't know, Brian. I wasn't paying that much attention.
Well, there you go. So you can't say then. You don't know. That's
I could.
my point.
If I,
That's what I was trying to
look, I assure you, if I had been paying attention, I would give a very concise argument right now.
According to them, a tangent plane can only have one vertical perpendicular to it. Right? If they're claiming a tangent and are claiming it's a horizontal, which they always try and do for celestial navigation, they're claiming there's only one line that can be perpendicular to that. But that's mathematically impossible. A horizontal can have any amount of verticals perpendicular to it in reality. So the claim of a tangent plane is complete and utter nonsense. That's my point. If they're claiming a horizontal, which they have to do for celestial navigation and for surveying, they can't be claiming a tangent plane that's touching a sphere at one point, because you can have an infinite amount of verticals to that horizontal.
The only reason they do that is because they need light to be parallel, and they need the angle, which they can't have if the Earth's surface is used, if it's a sphere, because it curves. So they have to draw a tangent so they can have a angle that's represented at the center of the Earth with the equatorial equator, and the equatorial equator is not curved, but the surface of a globe is curved, and they can't get an angle, so they draw a tangent plane and say, well, light is coming in parallel, so here's congruent angles, one at the center, one at the surface. They go, yeah, but you just conjured that tangent plane. Your surface can't give you that.
Yeah, but the point is that 1 foot in front of the observer and 1 foot behind the observer, they're trying to claim is not a vertical to that same claimed horizontal. A horizontal can have infinite verticals. It can be of infinite size and have infinite amount of verticals being perpendicular to it. They are trying to claim, in reality, that they have created a tangent plane that only has one vertical that can be perpendicular to it. That's
right, but what's the purpose? But what's the purpose for the tangent plane?
I know the purpose. You don't have to tell me the purpose. I understand the purpose.
Right.
My God, you hardly think I don't understand the purpose.
I'm not saying that.
I'm pointing out that in reality, a tangent plane is mathematically impossible.
Got it. When I said, what's the purpose? I'm not saying that to you. I'm saying that to a baller who would put that argument up. So you took it the wrong way. But I'm meaning this. What's the purpose of you drawing a tangent plane? Why can't you use the Earth's curved surface to get the angle? You know what's going to come out of their mouth? Because it's impossible.
Yeah.
Okay, it's over. So you're never using the Earth's surface.
No, what they're trying to do is what they always try to do, which is hijack reality. When I tried to make this, when I tried to broach this with a couple of them, but Charles Glover Math ignored it because he's not totally stupid. But the ones who did try to, only last night I tried it again on a comment on one of Flatside's videos, I put it to them. And all they're saying to me is, the tangent is horizontal, is perpendicular to plumb. Like, that is completely missing the point. You know what I mean? Yeah, we know horizontal is perpendicular to plumb. We know plumb is perpendicular to horizontal. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, everybody knows that. That's their response. It's like, but horizontal is just perpendicular to plumb because they're trying to make horizontal be a local phenomenon because they're crazy. You know, it's like, yeah, everyone knows horizontal is perpendicular to plumb, but horizontal doesn't exist on your sphere, and neither is vertical. Because which one of your tangents is horizontal then? Show us the horizontal one. Do you know what I mean? Then we can do, but they can't do that. But they also can only have one vertical to that claimed horizontal tangent plane. Well, how can you have only one vertical to a horizontal? That's mathematically impossible.
You're killing it from the what's the words? Okay, let me just say it, normal conversation. You're killing it from the impossibility of what tangents are. And Huey and John were saying you can't even go there because you got an Earth's surface that's curved. You can't just conjure a tangent. You're going into what a tangent is and the impossibility of multiple verticals to that tangent. It's just coming at it from a different direction. They're not even going to give it to them.
Well, I'm only going from a mathematical.
I know. I got it. Look, Huey, are you there still?
I don't think he is.
Okay.
I'll be honest.
Well, all right. So, for example, just the way some of these arguments go over time, you see a pattern. So you say either Earth is spinning or the stars are moving. Let's say you start there. All right. And so you got a baller on one side saying, no, the Earth is spinning. That's why you see the sun, moon, and stars turning. It's not really that they're turning. We're turning underneath it. And they say, okay, fine. Then let me demonstrate a drone hovering over a certain position over the Earth that you say is turning. How come when the drone goes off of the Earth, the stars are turning still? And they'll say, Well, that Earth and atmosphere are spinning as one. You say, so is that your claim now that the Earth and atmosphere are spinning as one? So you got gas behavior now. You got to address. Got a bunch of other things you got to address here, and then they give you an example. When you say, "Give me an example," you say, "Well, for example, like when you're in a train or in a car." I say, "Oh, you mean an enclosed system?" So now you're saying Earth and atmosphere are an enclosed system. And so, how are you going into outer space with these rockets? How do you have gas pressure next to a vacuum? The more you go into this, the more everything they say looks more and more ridiculous. Everyone needs to figure out this pattern because then it leads to, and this is what I wanted QE for, was all right. So the airplane at the equator takes off. The Earth is spinning over 1,000 miles per hour. The airplane maybe gets to 180, 200 miles ground speed before it can lift off. And it's maybe going at 600 miles an hour once it's in the air at level flight. But the Earth, for the conservation of momentum that they're claiming, is at 1,000 miles. So you're going backwards 400 miles? Is that what's happening? So everything falls apart when you take a globe perspective to try to answer these basic questions. When really, if you just say, wow, the stars and the sun and the moon are moving, I'm stationary, you don't have any of those problems. Is this the Occam's razor where it's, look, you have none of these problems if you enclosed flat Earth. You have no gas pressure problems. You have none of these problems that I just gave in that argument that one bleeds into another. Whereas if you take a globe side, they all have to make up these things that it's no longer Occam's razor. It's like, wait a minute, now you're saying this, which goes against that. Now you're saying this, which goes against an open system, which you must have. But then the open system has gas pressure next to a vacuum, which is impossible. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, but they have to compartmentalize everything. So something that is they have to make one part work paradoxically to another part. Do you know what I mean? Even though a train is a completely false equivalence, they must use an enclosed train as some kind of an example. That, you know what I mean? You
right.
know, yeah.
But that's my whole point.
All they're doing is basically saying you're enclosed. You know
right, but that's my whole point. Their model, we're not enclosed. So all of a sudden they have to go to we're enclosed to make this part of their model try to make sense when their model says we're not enclosed.
Yeah, see, it's say what you need. It's say what you need to say at the time. That's the way they are. They have to just make whatever, regardless of whether that argument contradicts official claims
right.
or contradicts them or contradicts a different argument they made. They compartmentalize it away. If you understand.
No, that's exactly what
they don't make the connections.
No, you're doing a nice commentary on what I'm putting out as the problem. You're doing a good job of saying, yeah, but when you do that, they compartmentalize, they say whatever they need to say, even if it contradicts the first 2 points.
Well, you look at something like that. Let's take the tangent plane, as we've been talking about. What is it they're actually claiming?
Anyway, now you come alive.
Right? They have to, right? And they have to claim that they're getting a dip correction from a refracted horizon. Now, that's what you're dealing with, right? So, I mean, they're destroying themselves by saying they're getting a dip from a refracted horizon. That's the end in everything. But they're still willing to say that. And just with a straight face, and be serious. They're actually being serious. They're not even trying to lie or be.
Yeah, but when you get them to define refraction, they don't even define refraction properly.
No, obviously they don't. But it's the very start of the whole process of celestial navigation is getting the angle, right? That's the basic start, right? Let's just say. Besides any small corrections you need to do when you take out the sex and the rigidity, the basic start is getting the angle. And the first real world correction you're doing is the dip correction. And you do the dip correction, but they have to claim it's from a refracted position. How can you do a correction based on your height of eye from a refracted position.
You're
Why would
5
you
steps
even?
down the line. No, I'm sorry. You're going 5 steps down the line again. They can't even admit that the sextant exists.
Yeah.
You go 5 steps down the line. Like I said, man, because they have to have the horizon, right? You got a horizon mirror. How can you have a horizon on a sphere target?
They can't. See,
Well,
there you go. But
especially with a circle of equal altitude, the radius line is not bent.
No. You didn't get it too. You got the same Brian disease.
No. I'm saying to you that the sextant, when it's working on Earth that's not a sphere, gives you a proper circle of equal altitude where you have a radius that's not bent. So it cannot ever work on a sphere because it's bent.
No, you can't get to the sphere. First step.
Right. No, I agree. I'm totally agreeing with you. That's why the sextant cannot work on a sphere. It can never work off a curved surface. That's been said from the beginning.
Yeah, you have to have a horizon with a sextant. Right? What's that mirror? What are those mirrors called again?
That's the Mariner sextant that has a horizon. But when you use a bubble sextant,
Oh, God.
hang on. This is going to strengthen your argument. It validates the horizon with the Mariner sextant because it's what? Horizontal all the way to the GP. That's why they use a spirit level. Unless someone wants to tell me a spirit level
I
isn't
think
horizontal.
Kiwi's point is different.
I
Kiwi's
know
point
it is. I know. I know it is. But to be definite in how many variety of sextants there are, like if you were on land, you could use a plumb bob and a protractor because you can get your 90, but you can't do that on a boat. So you use the 90 of the star over the horizon, and then you get the co-altitude to get your 90. It's just a different way of doing it, but it's the same thing.
How about one on a Ferris wheel?
I mean, you got to ask Mr. Bueller about that one.
The Ferris wheel sextant.
Yeah, Ferris Bueller. You got to ask him.
The tilt-a-whirl sextant.
It's his day off. Call him.
No matter what, you see, the thing about it is, no matter what sextant you're using, whether it's artificial horizon with a marine sextant on a boat, or above a sextant, right? They're always claiming a tangent. They're constantly at this complete nonsense. Right? And the tangent is not even touching the surface because it's a tangent they're claiming at the eye level. Right? Especially in an airplane. It's not even a tangent.
Hang on.
In the traditional sense.
Hang on. The horizon mirror in the Mariner sextant is where you bring the star or sun and you rock it on the horizon where the lower limb is barely kissing it. And when you can see it vertical, you say mark. So where's the tangent? Is it where the observer is or where the sun or star is at the horizon? Which tangent are you using?
No,
tangent. You use the horizon.
Right.
Yeah, but
I'm going to have to step out of this conversation, ain't I, and go get breakfast.
Yeah, but they're claiming to use a refracted horizon to get a dip angle from to create the tangent. This is the thing. There's so many steps into nonsense.
Guys are some comedians this morning.
You think that's where your hand is? No, that's not where your hand is. It's refracted.
You think that's air you're breathing right now?
Understand. Sorry, Nick?
I think that's air you're breathing right now.
You guys should try to start a show or something. Oh, we are on a show. All right, carry on.
So how's things working technically, Nathan?
I'm nearly there. I've spent 3/4 of this live show saying nothing and just setting up scenes. But on the other hand, from the audience's perspective, looks pretty good. I got my Zoom, which looks good. I got my presentation for Skype, zooming in for videos. What else have I got? My webcam looking at a load of mess. That now works. My main screen. Got my chat if I need to. I'm getting there, man. I'm definitely getting there. This tomorrow might be a proper show.
Is that a comprehensive list? We want to know everything you got.
All right, I've got my DDR 6000 running at 52 mega transfers per second at 1.25 volts. My CPU is running stock, but at a 0.4 volt undervolt or an offset, minus 0.4 or minus 0.04 offset. The GPU is running at 2745 at 0.95 volts. And it's all running quite happily. The fans are all running constantly at 500 RPM. So it's basically a normal computer now instead of it trying to be passive. I've just given up on that and it's now just running normally. And that's about it. Yeah, it's okay. It's got 2 new hard drives in it that as of about 15 seconds ago set up to the point where I could like transfer this onto a mirror of the drive in case that happens again, which I'll ask my tech guy to help me do. So I've got like a copy should another drive fail again. And yeah, I'm quite happy. It's just as twitchy as it was. It's the same computer, so I'm in no way more confident that this was going to be more stable. But I'm happy it's working. I'm happy I've got every bit of software that I need to actually broadcast here, and it looks pretty. And I can shout out super chats, and I can just about get into Discord, and hopefully the sound settings will remain the same when I set up tomorrow. They probably won't, but we'll see.
I was being facetious.
I know you were, but I'm going to take the opportunity. You've asked me. It's the only thing on my brain at the moment. So if you're asking me to argue with Brian, I'm going to struggle. If you ask me to tell you what tech specifications I've currently got running, I can do that. Okay, carry on, as you were.
All right. Guess who's back?
Who?
Oh,
Wave is not a thing.
What?
with it?
I can't hand you a wave, but I can wave at you.
I'm lost. I don't know this person.
I'm not sure. We don't know who you're talking about.
Really?
Well,
Look,
if it's not with it, then I don't know.
Yeah, it is. It is shits at 40.
Oh, it's with it. All right.
What,
yeah,
what is it?
a wave is not a thing. You guys
Oh, a
been
wave.
shrooms this
A-
morning?
A wave is not a thing. I didn't know what you were saying with your Elmer Fudd voice.
With your Elmer Fudd voice. A wave is not a thing.
Well, I know surfers that would disagree.
What a clown. Yeah, I heard him. Happy days, man. Happy days.
So the guy who wants a wave to be something says it's not a thing.
Yes.
That's par for the course.
Is that a problem with nouns and verbs?
Nouns, they're names for stuff. Like when we say it's not a concrete noun, as in it's not a concrete thing that you can name, like a tree. So what's the problem with... We'll start there. You said nouns and verbs, did you say? Like doing words?
Yeah, we don't have to go too far into this. It's just that he misunderstands nouns and verbs. That's
What?
the level that we're at here.
I was intrigued. I mean, when you came to me with basic science, I looked at you like, well, 5th grade? I don't remember any of this. So basic English, it's no different, right? That's the level we're at when we get to our mid-40s for me. You know, suddenly you're studying basic science and basic English at a 5th grade level, going, wow, aren't we smart?
Yeah, get ready. It's round 200 from Numpty Dipshits. Sorry, no swearing.
Are you saying that?
Is this an attempt to cement an argument?
No, we're not talking about concrete nouns.
Kiwi, are you alluding to you heard some stuff in the past 2 days
Yes,
that requires you to respond to it?
I don't need to respond to anything. It's just Like it's a respawning. What I heard yesterday was some stupid, very stupid things. What I want is some of their idiot followers to parrot, but they can't parrot it because it's so ambiguous and stupid. They can't do it, so no one can do it. But I'd just like to hear that one time, just out on the economy, and just somebody come up to me with that ambiguous, nonsensical horse shit. No
Are you,
swearing. Sorry.
are you saying that even a parrot wouldn't repeat this stuff?
No, it's too stupid. It sounds sciencey, but it's like this is what it's exactly like. I've said this many times. It's like Elmer Fudd. Now we got a bunch of Elmer Fudds, by the way, but I digress. It's like Elmer Fudd giving the keynote address at a metabolic pathway convention. But the audience is so stupid, they can't catch on to it because the guys that the Elmer Fudds that are talking, they make it sound at least a little, just a tiny bit like technical or sciency. It's an absolute the position that I heard yesterday is I couldn't believe it. Well, I
Well,
can't.
what is the position? What is the position besides wave is not a thing?
Oh God. Yeah, just the normal stuff. It's just they're just regurgitating it. You know, after we killed it like 35, 45 times. It's I really don't know what it is because they really didn't say anything. I didn't get it. It was disconnected drivel. You'd have to listen to it.
Speaking of disconnected
Kind of
dribble,
like
sorry to interrupt.
kind of like using a particle accelerator to prove it's not a particle.
That wasn't brought up. No, oh, wait a second. Yes, it was.
I was listening into Ballbusters, and it got to the Arwinian paradox. I'm like, oh well, you know, Arwin's there, no harm, he'll get there. And it took him about 5 minutes. I mean, he did get there. Don't get me wrong. Hey, Arwin, to go through the Arwinian paradox, but it struck me that it's often me summarizing it rather than Arwin summarizing it.
Yep.
And it was, no offense to Arwin, it was god awful. Yes, you could listen to
I
that.
wanted to wring his neck.
I did. I was sitting there thinking, my computer wasn't working at that point. I could do nothing, you know, to join. But I was sitting there thinking, you can't refract the horizon with an R value that requires a physical, non-refracted horizon to measure. That's the paradox.
Yeah.
I'm glad I got that in here, where it's totally relevant. Oh, someone's hit the super chat and I've missed it. Hold on a second. I must, as I'm now on the ball. Check it out. I'm on the ball and I can shout out Johnny Grabovic. Johnny Grabovic. What a wonderful name. Who's joined as a new member. Thank you very much for joining. And also Retro Bill, who says, infinite vertical planes demand infinite horizontal planes. There you go.
Well, aren't you special?
What makes him special, did you say?
No, I said you're special because super chats they've been few and far between. My wife is pissed.
Yeah, you heard that from QE. Smash the super chat here and now for me because it's obviously that important to QE's wife that I get lots of super chats having been off for a week.
You want to repeat your summary of the Arwinian paradox?
Why? Yeah, did I not do a good job the first time?
I'm going to write it down. I'm going to write it down. I was getting there, but he spoke too fast.
Okay, so you can't refract the horizon with an R value that requires you measure the horizon to get the R value. They're saying, well, it's refracted. How is it refracted? Well, it's refracted with terrestrial refraction at a rate of the radius. How'd you get the radius? With a physical geometric horizon. So the horizon that you're refracted is refracted with a value of R derived from a geometric horizon. That's right. No, that's paradoxical.
You can't use an unmeasured value to claim you have a refracted position based on that unmeasured value. And the basis and proof for this refracted position is the unmeasured value.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It can't be done.
Exactly. You go, what do you mean you can prove?
Why did Darwin take long to do that?
He was drinking.
You can prove the position of the rainbow. Well, how do you position the rainbow physically? Well, because of its refracted value. Okay, and what's that based on? Well, it's based on the physical position of the rainbow. And then we derive the refracted value for the rainbow's position in refracted terms from the physical measurement of the rainbow. How'd you get the physical measurement of the rainbow? Well, you don't, but we've got the value, and we need that value for the physical position to refract the rainbow. No, that's just paradoxical nonsense.
No, you can derive R from the refracted position. That's what do you know what I mean? R has become a derivative of a claimed refracted position that's based on the measurement of the R that you can only derive from the refracted position.
I love it. This becomes an infinite. This has become. I love it. They turn a paradox in rebuttal into an infinite regress fallacy. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
Am I correct, QE? This becomes them kicking the can down the road. Well, we get the refracted position for the non-refracted position from the refracted position. Where'd you get the non-refracted refracted position for the non-refracted position? Well, we get that from the refracted non-refracted refracted position when we got it from the non-refracted refracted non-refracted refracted position when we were refracting it. We see that when it's refracted.
Well, Ruhif is the best at it. Ruhif is the best, is their best spokesperson for it. Because if you say, where is your geometric horizon? He'll say, you mean the non-refracted horizon? Is that the horizon you're talking about?
Ah, I see.
Look, if you say yes
just change it to rainbow. So where did it get the value for the rainbow? Well, it's from the non-refracted rainbow value. All right, where'd you get that? Well, non-refracted, like physical. Where's that? How's that geometric horizon working out for you, by the way, Rufy? Good? Yeah, good?
I think you mean the non-refracted horizon.
I'm pretty sure I mean the geometric horizon. Marked with an X, labelled horizon in there, begging the question, proof of nothing, perspective, hijacking Earth curve calculator. You can't really miss it. It's labelled horizon, Brian. It's geometric.
But that can never happen because we have, according to them, you have to have an Earth with no atmosphere for that to happen.
Yeah, what is it? No Atmo Day? What's going on?
Ruhif's question, when Ruhif says, do you mean, because he's asked me this, I don't know how many times, and he's same with Adam, I'm sure. Do you mean the non-refracted? Well, we mentioned the geometric horizon that doesn't exist. He says, do you mean the non-refracted horizon? Now, if you're naive, you'll say yes. And at that point, you're agreeing to his craziness. You're in agreement with him that there's this non-refracted position that actually exists that we can't see because it's always refracted.
I didn't actually get to do a sound check this morning, so can someone from the chat, if I'm reading the chat, just let me know if the sound is okay, if everyone's all balanced up. I haven't checked it. Sorry to interrupt your flow, Brian, with something I should have done 2 hours ago.
But you was hoping they would pay attention to it. Because it is a question that Ruhif says to people. When people bring up his global geometric horizon that doesn't exist, he says, I think do you mean the non-refracted horizon, hoping for somebody to say yes. And at that point, you're in agreement that this non-refracted nonsense position exists. You're literally walking into that paradigm. You're begging the question with him. As soon as you say yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
no.
yeah. Like you do when you give him a straight line in that.
Sorry?
Like you do when you give him a straight line in that.
What do you mean?
Begging the question with them. You know, helping them along, giving them that straight line they don't have.
What straight line?
With the tangent.
No, I'm not giving them the tangent. I'm taking it away mathematically, taking it away because a tangent is only a mathematical thing. I'm taking it away mathematically.
You don't need to.
It's
The whole to a curve, from a curve thing, doesn't that resolve that?
well, I spent 7 years trying to get people to focus on the dip correction, and no one wanted to know. So, okay, we'll go to the tangent then that they'll create off of the dip correction. So nobody wants to. The dip correction just goes, yeah, dip correction. It's just flippantly pushed aside when that is the killer of the whole thing. But so okay, tangent then, because they won't stop claiming a tangent, and nobody will go for the go at them with the dip correction. So they keep on claiming tangent, 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 but a tangent can't exist in reality. It mathematically can't. It can't. It doesn't even work mathematically because it has to be a contradiction, a mathematical contradiction. Because if they're claiming, not just a tangent to a circle, when they claim, because their claim is specific, a horizontal tangent plane. The word horizontal, as soon as that is placed there, that means that there will be a vertical that will be perpendicular to it. But they're trying to claim that there can only be one vertical perpendicular to that horizontal. It's like, no.
But you can't have a perpendicular on the globe.
You guys make tangents again.
No, you're not. You're missing the point. Nobody's getting it.
Every time someone points out how it dies on its ass, Brian says we're missing the point.
Yeah, you're missing the point because in reality there can be infinite verticals to a horizontal. They are trying to claim in reality there can only be one vertical.
Sorry to pipe up through you, but I just said that. This is John's point, right? To a curve as opposed to from a curve. Now, I know you've already responded. You said, well, yeah, I've been saying for years, dip correction. What are we doing? We're taking a line to the horizon. Now, is that to a curve, or are we acquiring an angle measurement from a curve? How are we getting it is my point.
Well, the tangent plane comes after the dip correction. In their claim, when the baller is trying to detail the situation, they'll get to the dip correction point, and whether they say it or not, they're correcting from a refracted horizon up to the eye line, right? And then they have a tangent plane, and then they're making an angle and bringing it to the center of the globe, blah blah blah. Whereas they shouldn't be allowed to get past the dip correction. They shouldn't be allowed to get past that point. But everyone leaves them past that point. So I'm going, okay, then I'll just take the tangent apart then.
The purpose for the dip correction is because the nautical almanac and everything that the numbers in there are based on the center of the Earth, equatorial plane. And in order to do that from the surface, your eyes have to be on the water line. So that's the whole purpose of the dip correction, because you might be 10 feet above with a depression angle. So how can you have a depression angle? So get your eyes on the water line, which is where they put their tangent plane, which they conjure. Now they have a horizontal that matches the equatorial plane. It's just a mathematical escape for them, but it doesn't exist.
Yeah, but what they're doing, what the dip correction is it's a vertical correction at the horizon. That's what you're doing. You're correcting the line between the eye and the horizon, the water at the horizon, that's where the line is going. When you're using the horizon mirror, your line, right, the line from the eye is going down to the water.
Yeah, it's the depression angle. Yeah.
So if your height of eye is 50 feet, then you're correcting for 50 feet at your visible horizon. It's a 50 feet vertical correction. Now, Adam and me have gone through this. We've argued about it. Adam is saying it's just optical. I'm pointing out, no, it's actually geometric, because you're making an actual vertical correction based on your certain height of eye. So consequently, my argument there is that it's a measurement. My point is that the water, that when you're looking at the horizon, then there has to actually be physical water there for the dip correction to take hold. You can't do a dip to a refractive, to a mirage, is my point. You can't do a dip to something that isn't there. You're trying to claim, go on.
How do they have a horizon?
Yes, how did they have a horizon? But that's the point. They're trying to claim that what we're seeing is not really there. They're trying to claim there isn't water.
You're talking about a dip to something they can't have.
I'm not talking about it. They're claiming this nonsense. I'm pointing out.
What? You're pointing out what?
I'm trying to point out that the dip correction means that there has to be water at the horizon you're seeing, because you're correcting for the height of your eye above the water underneath your boat.
No, you can't use horizon. They can't use the horizon.
In reality, I can. In reality, not. I'm talking about in reality what the dip correction is.
Yeah, me too. I'm talking about that as a baller. You can't use that. You can't use the horizon. You got to come up with another word and another concept.
Yeah, because they don't. It's not horizontal in their words. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I get that. I understand that. But I'm talking about the real world dip correction, and they're trying to claim that what we're seeing that they're not correct. They're trying to say that the water we see out at the horizon is not really there.
Whoa. What did you say? Horizon?
That we are seeing out at the horizon. We're seeing.
Oh, so did they claim a dip correction?
They're trying to hijack the dip correction, yes.
Dip correction from what?
From a refracted horizon.
Oh, they can't. I'm sorry. Number one, they don't know what refraction is. Number two, they can't use the horizon. That I've taken that away from them.
Yes.
I'm sorry. We've taken that away from them.
Especially me.
but that still doesn't change their. With the exception of the word horizon, that doesn't change what they say about dip correction.
Oh, I don't care what they say. They can't have a horizon. It's simple as that.
Why is that? Why can't they have a horizon?
Because horizons and horizontal lines all have dip. All have slope of 0. Whereas curvature is always a non-zero slope. Rate of change of slope. That's a paradox. They can't have that. They have to give up curvature. Don't you look at one of my horizons.
Go to the picture of Master B, Nathan.
Okay.
You see it? Airplane, horizontal. Surface of Earth, horizontal. Celestial horizon, same as the equatorial plane, horizontal. When does the curve of the Earth, does surplus to requirement dingleberry come into play for any angle? They never use it.
Okay.
Yeah, because they're doing a dip from a refracted position.
Refraction. You can't have refraction in the atmosphere.
Yeah, I know, but that doesn't change what they're believing.
I don't care. I don't care what delusional Dunning-Kruger Muppets believe. It's not my job. Well, it is my job in the beginning, just initially, to show that they can't have a horizon. I'm going to get you guys onto this. It's. I would say it's strong to a quite strong position.
Well, I think the picture I just posted argues your point quite well.
What picture?
On the Master B.
When it says celestial horizon that doesn't exist?
No. This is what doesn't exist is the dingleberry.
Oh, I know that doesn't exist because we have horizons in reality.
I know. If you get rid of the dingleberry and all you have is 3 parallel lines, where's Earth curvature? Where's slope of any type? There isn't it.
You can't have a slope on a horizontal line. And a horizontal line is derived from horizon.
Right.
So, therefore, horizons have slope of 0 also. you guys don't want this because you can't argue all those nonsensical minutia points, right?
I just gave you the picture that backs what you're saying.
I don't need no backing. All I have to do is look. All anyone has to do is look at, and if they see a horizon, the ball chart's done.
Exactly.
So,
And that's what the picture shows, is your argument right there.
so I don't need no rubber ducky life preservers. I
Well,
don't
you
need.
did 2 months ago. You liked the rubber ducky 2 months ago. Now you don't want it?
I do. I still like it. But all right, go on, gentlemen. Keep on talking, and then I'll just be back. As soon as there's any connection whatsoever, how simply implicit it might be, I'm gonna jump all over you. How you like me now? Because
No,
I'm
you
gonna
don't.
ask you to show a horizon on a sphere chart.
I just showed you it's not possible. So I'm doing the opposite. I'm agreeing with you with a picture.
All right.
Right, but it's going to be awkward now to talk about anything because you're going to jump on every time the word refraction or horizon or anything else comes up. It's going to be impossible.
No,
Now,
the sphere is surplus to requirement. So any topic about a sphere is surplus to the argument, is what QE's saying.
you can do it now, Brian. I got an egg sandwich, man. I can't be able to speak, so go ahead.
I showed up. I'll take over for QE.
Anybody know how long this live stream's been going?
No idea.
Over an hour, hasn't it?
Been over an hour?
1 hour, yes.
Oh, well, with that, I'm going to say
Oh, here we go. Flat Earthers back in the house.
indeedy. With that, though, I'm going to say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to both Discord and G+ panels for making today's live show possible. If you're watching on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley premiering streams, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow. As I say, unfortunately, if you are watching live, this is where we bid you farewell. So, another massive thank you to all of you. Smashed the super chat, liked, commented, shared, subscribed, joined as a member, and all that good stuff. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day. What a lovely day.